Thanks for joining us. Good morning. Developing stories we're following. Active weather this morning in the east. We're seeing some snow still through parts of New Brunswick, rain in places like Moncton. And look at that long-range snow potential for this week and Christmas weather bomb. A lot of people have been talking about this on social media. We'll get down to the nitty-gritty throughout the program on what that means. Now, as we take a look at the active weather you've been seeing in Atlantic Canada, it has been quite snowy, especially for places like Fredericton in the last little while, Edmundston, even Moncton. Cloud tops across the country here. You can see towards Atlantic Canada, some of the most active weather is really in the east for today. High cloud tops indicating that system. It's moving into Newfoundland for today, but overall that will remain as rain for you. So our radar showing the green, that's rain. So passing through Sydney, Cape Breton Island, across New Brunswick, a bit of a messy mix. You can see the blue is the snow, but as we get down to St. John, we are seeing that rain. Moncton's seeing the rain, but now Moncton is out of the rainfall warning. So things are improving as the day goes on. However, some wet, slushy roads here, especially in that mixing line. And for Fredericton, some snow on the ground to contend with. So you got to get up a little bit earlier to be shoveling the snow as well as getting the snow all off the cars. We have an additional about 5 centimeters to go, so it is improving. Moncton has seen about 5 hours of freezing rain. This is as of 6 a.m. local time, but you've also seen that rain mixing in. Halifax, it's remained a rain event for you. Not as much rain as we expected, but about 15 millimeters, so on the low end there for you. Through to Friday, continuing, yes, to see that snow. So Moncton changing back to snow as we lose that sunshine for you today, and we're looking at an additional 5 to 10, but north of Fredericton, a little bit more. And as you can see here, towards St. John's, when you start to see that rain, which really begins later today into tomorrow, it is going to be about 5 to 10 millimeters by Friday. In southern Ontario, like Toronto, your morning a little bit cooler than yesterday today, -1, and not much sunshine. We'll get some more tomorrow for you. Halifax, rain showers, 5 degrees, and for parts of New Brunswick, still seeing that snow. St. John's is 1. For Calgary, -4, and Vancouver, a wet morning for you. Also for Victoria, we're going to see some wet weather and winds pretty strong across Vancouver Island. And towards Sudbury, you're -11, a lot more sunshine for you this afternoon, however. And we are seeing a lot of areas changing from the rain back to that snow and back to rain again as the day goes on in the east. Glad you could join us. I'm Nicole Karkic. As we look at our active weather patterns, west coast seeing active weather and east coast too. In the middle, not too bad. For the Maritime provinces, we've got heavy amounts of snow moving through New Brunswick still in places like Fredericton and the north of that as well. Looking at the radar, anything in the green is rain. So Cape Breton Island, PEI, rain right now. So too is Moncton, but that rainfall warning has dropped for you. And then in New Brunswick, we've got some heavy snow, which has been continuing since last night. Nathan Coleman is joining us right now in Fredericton. Nathan, tell us how it's looking over there. Has it improved at all this morning? All right, well, I can't wait to see that one, Nathan. Okay, as we look at the radar, you can see, yeah, still that snow in Fredericton, east of Fredericton, getting a little bit of a break, but it's going to come back around again. So if you're in the clear right now, you might still see a little bit of snow as the morning goes on. Staying as rain, though, for Moncton right now, you are going to see that changeover back to a rain-snow mix later on in the day and snow tonight. But the bulk of the snow and rain really has fallen. For this morning, things are just starting to taper off. Moncton, that 5 hours of freezing rain. Bathurst, 15 centimeters of snow. And Halifax, you got 15 millimeters of rain. And as we look at Friday here, we're going to see an additional about 10 to 20 centimeters of snow in the hardest hit areas.
Well, good morning to you. It is Thursday, December the 18th. Meteorologist Nicole Karkic, Chris Murphy with you. Developing stories we're following today.
All right, so some of you seeing more snow through the day. We're going to tell you how much more is expected and when it's clearing up.
All right, take a little sneak peek of the national Christmas forecast.
Exactly, right around the corner. And we're going to clear up weather bomb chatter. That's been across social media. Yeah. What does it mean? And
is expected today. Here's a look at what we can expect in further accumulations.
Exactly. For areas like Moncton, we're seeing some rain right now, but that's going to change over to some wet snow as the day goes on.
Notice also in northern areas of Nova Scotia, which saw predominantly rain, you are going to get on the backside of the system cooler air coming in, and we're going to see that rain mixing over with some snow showers. Northwestern areas of Newfoundland also, Nicole, could see that wintry mix.
Exactly. But for St. John's, Newfoundland, Bona Vista Peninsula remaining as rain, mild enough for you, and not too much rain at that either.
Strong winds, Cape Breton Highlands and the Wreck House up to 110 kilometers per hour this morning, so a heads up there. All right, so let's take you to Markham, Ontario. Love it when the snow falls like this.
Last week on Friday.
Yeah.
So I'm ready for it. I don't know about you.
You're ready for it. We do have some breezy conditions coming off Lake Huron. It's colder this morning. You're feeling that. I wouldn't certainly call these snow squalls, but a little bit of lake enhancement, 5 to 10 centimeters, perhaps around the London up towards, say, the Grand Bend area.
Exactly. And
the week, a lot of the snow that fell last week has melted quite rapidly across much of southern Ontario. Still some snow on the ground, though. Areas to the north, where we saw a good 5 to 15 centimeters worth of snow. And snow on the ground across the west, we see lots in the mountains. That's where we want to see it in the Rocky Mountains.
Exactly. So a white Christmas for some, but there is a system looming for Christmas that we're talking about here at the Weather Network for parts of eastern Ontario, so it really might look different by then.
It looks like at this point it's going to get quite windy across the Great Lakes on Christmas Eve and turning much colder across the prairies.
Coming up, we'll check in with our live on the scene reporters. Thanks for joining us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic, looking across the country. Most active weather, west coast and east coast. So let's start off in the east, where you can see the cloud tops indicating a system still moving through parts of the Maritime provinces, and eventually it will reach Newfoundland for you today. As we look at the radar, the rain still falling in parts of Moncton as well as Summerside, but towards areas like Fredericton, yes, we're still getting that blue. That is the snow coming down. Bulk of it fell last night, but still some messy roads to start people's day. Nathan, what can you tell us about conditions right now?
Busy day at the malls.
It certainly will. Thanks so much, Nathan. And so he's clearing off the snow, but once you do that, and if you go into the mall really quickly this morning, you might have to clear it off again. That's the kind of day we're looking at. There are still snowfall warnings in place for Edmundston, Bathurst as well. Likely an additional 5 to 10 centimeters. So the bulk did fall overnight, but yes, it is still going on. In Fredericton, you're in that winter storm warning, so we're going to see those strong easterly winds blowing the snow around a little bit. With Nathan, you can see the snow is sort of falling sideways. And into Friday night, it will bring places like Fredericton about that 5 to 10, but Moncton, you're seeing less snow because we are going to be getting into some rain continuing this morning, and then a switch over to rain snow mix and then snow. So a little bit of everything, making it that slushy, heavy, wet snow out there. Now for this morning, if you're going to be in Newfoundland, we are going to start to see some showers building into the Avalon Peninsula, western shores of Newfoundland getting some mixing, and then there's that mixing line this morning around Miramichi, and then it starts to spread across Nova Scotia because temperatures are plummeting tonight compared to yesterday. As we look at southern Ontario for this morning, big story is with Kasia Badurka out there. It's a lot cooler this morning, Kasia. Good thing to keep in mind. Thanks so much, Kasia. So as we can see here, temperatures cooler than yesterday, -1 in Toronto, and yeah, a little bit of cloud cover on this map because we're not going to get the best chance to see that sunshine booming across southern Ontario today. That does come tomorrow. Into Friday, a bit more snow for the western, for the shores of Lake Huron, which is a little bit of an enhancement with those westerly winds towards London, about 5 to 10 centimeters of snow on the way today. Glad you could join us. I'm meteorologist Nicole Karkic. This is fun, and you can be involved in this moving forward. I tweeted out asking people to send me pictures of their weather, and then now, after they've sent it to me, on Twitter, I'm going to give a personalized forecast. So Mohammed sent me this just yesterday. This was the freezing rain that we saw in Ottawa yesterday morning. There were school closures because of it, but the beautiful side of the nighttime in the city of Ottawa. And as we look at your forecast today, an improvement. We're not seeing that freezing rain. We do have for this afternoon a daytime high of -2. Could see some flurries, but overall quiet. It's going to feel like -7 with the wind chill. Winds sustained at about 15 kilometers an hour with a northwest wind, and overnight dipping down to about -10. Now, another photo that was sent to me was in the Avalon Peninsula. We take a look at that snow on the ground in Newfoundland. We're going to see some rain moving into Newfoundland for today, so washing away some of that snow on the ground. And speaking of snow, these are the traffic cams from last night in Edmundston. Some rough driving conditions across northern New Brunswick today, so do be careful on the roads. And as we head to this is our Christmas Day forecast for you. So it might be a white Christmas for some. We are looking at eastern Ontario because that's where we could potentially see a weather bomb. With more details on that story, you can go to our website and look at this weather bomb story. But with more on what exactly that is, here's our science behind the weather.
Some people might be digging out just like that because of the storm that we're tracking. But, you just watched that segment that I shot, a while ago on bombogenesis. Whether or not, Nicole, we're really going to get this storm to typically bomb out, drop into that 24 millibars in 24 hours is still hard to say. We're going to have a chance to talk to Dr. Doug Gillum about it more.
Exactly. And we're referring to a big, powerful storm coming through parts of southern Ontario Christmas Eve right into Christmas Day. So you can see temperatures flirting around the 1 degree mark here in Toronto. And then as we head into Christmas Day, around the freezing mark, and then it just shifts into the east.
And this is the thing, you can even see by these icons, we have these partly cloudy skies with some snow flurries, so track is uncertain. So even our forecast, we're not really sure where the track of that storm is going to be yet, why Toronto doesn't have any snow right now. So all could change.
Exactly, so you have to keep tuning into the Weather Network. West Coast for now, Christmas Day rather, Calgary sitting at -8. We're going to see the sunshine for you. Vancouver 3 degrees, really mild over there with sunshine too.
All right, let's take a look. If we can click ahead to the next storm, potentially what it might do. This is the storm that developed. So if you want to play that out, there you go. There's a piece of energy that moves through, this is Monday. It really is more of a clipper system. Now, it depends on how deep this one becomes. And again, I'm going to chat with Doug about this because then we've got the secondary low. So if they split into 2 separate lows, maybe not as powerful as one low.
Exactly. So looking at your forecast today ahead to Christmas, still a lot of question marks around it, but we are going to get a better handle on this as the week goes on. Well, Jacqueline's going to take over talking about some of the top stories today. BC, we've got heavy rain for you.
Yeah, that's right. And more snow in the east. We'll talk about that. And could you avoid another nor'easter?
And, of course, the potential for that Christmas storm. We've got lots of meteorologists behind the scene working on it, and you'll be talking to Dr. Doug Gillum. In southern Ontario, like Toronto, your morning a little bit cooler than yesterday. Today, -1 and not much sunshine. We'll get some more tomorrow for you. Halifax, rain showers, 5 degrees. And for parts of New Brunswick, still seeing that snow. St. John's is 1. For Calgary, -4. And Vancouver, a wet morning for you. Also for Victoria, we're going to see some wet weather and winds pretty strong across Vancouver Island. And towards Sudbury, you're -11. A lot more sunshine for you this afternoon, however. This morning show saw power outages and school closures across parts of New Brunswick due to heavy snow. Nathan Coleman was in the middle of it.
It's a fluffy snow, and we have about 15 centimeters of it.
We also visited the food bank with thoughts of giving back this time of year.
If every Canadian today donated just 2 non-perishable food items, the food bank would have enough food supplies to meet its demands until spring.
And airports are starting to get busier ahead of the holiday season.
But you can see a lot of lucky people heading to Florida, heading to Hawaii, heading to Mexico.
If you're renting a car down there, gas prices are even cheaper.
Join us weekdays, 5:30 to 9 a.m. Eastern.